Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time of the day it is in your particular part of the world. I'm Melanie and I am back with another pick a card reading. This one is going to be called The Wild Unknown You, and it will focus on who you are at the core, perhaps that secret part of you that you keep hidden from friends, family, possibly even yourself, might be lying under the surface. I expect it's going to get quite deep. I'm going to get going and introduce the three piles and let you pick. I will do the self-promo bit within each of the readings. So information about how to get a personal reading with me, my details about my reader giveaway, I will do all of that in the individual piles. Let's just get going. Pile 1, you are this beautiful, beautiful Thunder Egg geode with amethyst in it. Pile 2, you are this marvellous hagstone, which I feel, I meant to mention in my last video, I said I would and I forgot. She reminds me of a woman. She reminds me of the prehistoric cave art representations of woman in all her sort of fertile power. I prefer to show her this way round, but she sits better on the table like this. That is pile 2. Pile 3, you are this beautiful, magically named fairy opal. So those are your 3 piles. Make your choice and I will meet you at your reading. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose this beautiful geode, then this is your reading. Just before about 2 minutes in, I think. Okay. Three is the magic number, 33. Wow, 30 and a 3. Those are my numbers. Perhaps this one's for me. I'm just going to move things up a bit and be a bit more comfortable for me. In fact, we don't need anything to prop a card against. Okay. There may have been something in that. This one's for me. Because when I got this deck, as I do with most decks, I flip through and look at the cards that I am the most immediately drawn to. The second card you've got here, the Starborn, number 3, was the card that I found the most magical in the entire deck. Okay, so the Wild Unknown You, that is what we are looking at. Just before I begin, I am doing a free reader giveaway once I reach 500 subscribers. We're perhaps about 120 off at the moment, so not too many. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed. All you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is to leave me a heart or a comment in the comments box. And once I reach 500 subscribers, I will trawl back through. I will choose a reading at random. So it's not going to be the particular reading when I reach 500, and I will choose a subscriber. And you will win yourself a free reading of your choice with me. Secondly, I am doing an e-gift voucher. So should you wish to book a reading as a gift for someone else, and I have had some inquiries about this, I can send you a little e-gift voucher that you can print or send on to the person that you would perhaps like to give the gift of a reading to. I can then negotiate with you or with that person on the type of reading and what they would like to hear. That's all the self-promo done. Let's get on to your reading. Okay. I'm going to read like this. The one. Pile number one. You may feel, and remember this is deep in your subconscious, this is things that you possibly won't admit to other people. You may feel that you were born special. You may be one of those children that felt that you didn't particularly belong in your family. You may have been one of those children that kind of have the adoption fantasies. I'm really the child of a prince or a princess. You may have had a sense of not belonging. I suppose on a literal level, you may be an orphan. There's a sense of displacement, but there's also a sense of sort of magic and feeling that you were special, possibly that you were born with a destiny or a purpose. If that's not you, or you can't admit that to you, you may be the one for more people than you know. This is a shining light in the darkness. This is a beacon. This is somebody that has great power, whether you know it or not. You may bring a lot of comfort to people because, possibly because you've had a difficult or a traumatic life, or many traumatic events in your life. And despite that, you get up and you work on the healing and you shine your light out there for people to see. It's 30, it's a nice round number. You may have come into your spiritual gifts because you are gifted, pile one. You may have come into your spiritual gifts. You may have had your awakening at the age of 30. That's what I'm getting from this card. Your second card is the Starborn, and we have this marvellous egg which is cracked, and all of this magic, all of this colour coming out, seem to have wishes, fairies, dancing. I'm not sure how much I subscribe to the idea of star seeds, but that's what this card seems to be indicating, and especially connected with the one. So I talked about you may have felt displaced, you may have felt the odd one out, the black sheep, when in fact you are the one. You are the white sheep, if you like. You are the truth, the love shining out of the darkness. Here you are in all of your colour. So I'm saying I don't know how much I subscribe to the idea of star seeds. I do subscribe to the idea of reincarnation. So if you believe in star seeds, the obvious message I'm getting from this card is the reason you may have felt this sense of displacement, this sense of not belonging, of being the odd one out, is because you don't come from here and you don't really belong, and you've actually had a difficult time adjusting to this incarnation on earth. And when I say this incarnation, I'm a lot more comfortable. You may have memories of previous lives. You may have lived in very different cultures or environments in the past, and you may literally feel like you've landed on another planet in this particular time period within the culture that you are born in. The top two cards, you are very, very magical. You are very special. You have a purpose. You have been born into this incarnation in this time to help illuminate, guide, bring light, bring truth to people. And that might be truth which to you has always felt something you've had to keep inside because it's too wacky, it's too woo-woo, it's too out there for other people to comprehend. I really feel that you have recently, or will, or about to come into your full power. So we move on to this card, the Eternal Child. And I think this is incredibly beautiful and incredibly moving, because I think despite the difficulties and the problems and perhaps the hardships that you've endured, you have never lost your childlike sense of adventure. That Peter Pan sense of wonder. You may have been quite a magical child. You may have been, this is sounding a bit like me when I'm getting onto the Eternal Child and what I'm getting, but a child that was lost in magic, a child that was possibly a bit of a loner, who possibly preferred books and fairy stories. That might have been quite harshly knocked out of you. You may have had a rude awakening, but that eternal child is still in there. It's still within you, and it's a really magical part of you that others can sense and draw you to them, which make you the one. I'm drawn to the circle or the elliptical shape within each of these cards. We've sort of got this full moon glowing egg here. We've got this white egg, this oval here. This looks like a slice of orange in the middle, and it's in the middle of the child's arms. So something about your sacral chakra, which is where you hold creativity, those childhood dreams, those romantic wild imaginings of being born the daughter of a princess, or, you know, stolen away by the fairies, a foundling child, all of that sort of magic perhaps is a secret part of you that you think you keep hidden. People can sense the inner child, the magic in you, and it's very innocent and it's very endearing. It's something that draws people to you. Moving on to the central card out of these 5, you have the Sword. Here's the division: the day, the night, the light, the dark, the thunderbolt, the lightning rather, some kind of shocking awakening which has jolted you out of this, I'm going to say quite idyllic, dreamy, romantic, blissful sort of childhood, out of your escapism, out of your imagination. And it might very well tie into your awakening to your spiritual gifts. Swords bring clarity, they bring truth, they cut through illusions. And that's perhaps where I'm sensing sort of this trauma, these difficult experiences, as you try to integrate into a sense of belonging and feeling at home, and reintegrate the eternal child. Swords are weapons. I'm getting here that part of your mission, so this is sounding more and more star-seedy, part of your mission in this incarnation is to bring light to the darkness, is to cut through possibly the fantasy, or what you always believed was fantasy, and is to integrate the light and the dark. And I was talking about the sword of clarity and the sword of justice, and I was imagining people like the Knights Templar, who believed they were on some kind of a holy crusade or a holy mission, I don't want to get into cultural wars. But there is something about you having a mission in this life. And I really think that's borne out by the judge here. I think, and we're back to the black and white. You see things in colour. I think you've known the darkness. I think you've known the light. And I think you've known many, many shades of grey in between. And you know that justice is not black and white. It's not right and wrong. We have the two solid blacks here with the hand. One hand appears to be saying no, stop, halt. The other hand is out offering, or take my hand. Then we have the shades of grey here, and we have the white. And the white's surrounded by this golden light. There appears to be an eye at the centre here and a skull here. So something here about judgment and justice and fairness, and that's what you're fighting for truth. There are no others on the cards. So I don't necessarily see that you are a healer or somebody like a social worker or a psychologist. You're more rogue than that. It's not necessarily when you shine your light that you are aiming to help a particular section of humanity. I think your role is you have a mission. You are, it sounds really grandiose, but you are the one, you know, your purpose here is to shine the light of truth and clarity and perhaps aid humanity, but not in a very personal, necessarily heart-centered way. I think you are fair. I think fairness and unfairness in society is something that possibly makes you very angry or very sad. I think you've tried to stay possibly within the egg, stay within the eternal child, but the last two cards, there really is no escaping your destiny or your mission here. You came into this life, I've said it already, I'm going to say it again, you came in with a mission. And I'm looking at this card now. I didn't intend to pull any of the literary witches out, and I don't intend to read them as writers or authors or their bodies of work. I simply intend to talk about the images that I see. So I'm talking about coming to earth and feeling that you're not belonging. And here we have this shadow woman. She's fully formed because she has breasts, she has pubic hair, she's falling. You've literally dropped into this planet, sort of almost fully formed. You've been down in the dark, in the soil, in the earth, germinating for a long time. And you're rising. You're coming out of the darkness, you're coming out of the egg. We've got two horses' heads down here. Horses always symbolise freedom and being wild. When I imagine a horse, I imagine them running free in packs, in herds, not owned, not ridden, wild and sensitive and free. And I think you are freeing yourself from self-limiting beliefs. And you are rising and you are growing and you are standing in your power. Yeah, I didn't even notice the word on the card is bravery. And I think that might be the dilemma for you. You may not feel particularly brave. You may not feel that you are strong enough to accept this mission. But I'm sorry, with the sword and the judge, you are being called to step into your power. Now is the time to remember your gifts and to step into the purpose that your soul agreed to in this particular incarnation. Your last card is the Noose. The only thing which is holding you back from your destiny, from stepping into your power, is self-sabotage, and possibly the idea that to do so you will be relinquishing your freedom. I don't think that's the case. There might be a slight worry with the internal child of growing up and facing and looking at these adult truths. But pile number one, you are incredibly powerful. I think you already know that you've got some kind of psychic gift. I think you might have suspected that you've got a mission. Something that's just come into me really intuitively before I wrap up is for you to go back to your early childhood dreams. What did you dream of becoming? Who did you dream that you were? Possibly who did you talk about being? There may be some clues in that. Just before I finish pile number one, you are incredibly powerful and you are stepping and growing into that power. And I do not think that you're going to be able to deny or to refute this destiny for very much longer. Pile number one, that was your reading. I hope you'll give it a like, a share, a subscribe if it rang true for you. Incredibly powerful. I'm going to leave you with this image. You are more than one person's guiding light. You shine light upon their darkness. And however lonely and dark your own path has been, you are surrounded. You radiate this incredible light, and I think it's going to be so important for one, if not more of you, to know that. However tough it gets, you walking your authentic path and speaking your truth and sharing possibly your experiences will help more people than I think you will ever know. Brightest blessings to you, pile number one. Hello, pile number two, around about 23, 30, something like that. If you chose this beautiful, beautiful hagstone, my Donny woman, then this is your pile. Oops, you really don't like to lie that way, do you? Okay, let's have a look at what we've got. Okay, pile number two. Before I begin your reading, I'd just like to say that we're about 130 subscribers away from my 500 free reader giveaway. All you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like, share, make sure you subscribe, leave me a comment or a heart in the comments box. When I reach 500 subscribers, I will choose one from a past reading at random. It won't necessarily be the reading where I hit 500 subscribers, and that person will win a free reading of their choice with me. I am also offering e-gift vouchers, so if you would like to gift a reading to somebody, if you contact me via my Facebook page, I'll give you all of the details. I'll send you the e-gift voucher, which you can print or send on to the recipient. Okay, pile number 2, the wild unknown you, the bit of you that you perhaps keep at your core, that you keep secret, that you keep hidden. Who are you? Okay, pile number 1 definitely came here with a mission. You've got a mission. You might know a bit more about your mission. It might not sound as fantastical as that of pile number 1. Okay, you are showing up as the healer. Oh gosh, there were 3s in pile number 1. You've got a 3-headed serpent around some kind of what looks to me like a moonstone with 3 other gems in it. You are a healer, and I think you know that you're a healer. Touch. You might heal by touch. You might practice Reiki. You might be a masseur. You might be a hairdresser. You might be a beautician. You might be an artist. Whatever you do with your hands, whatever you create, it brings a great sense of healing to people. Then you have Gnosis, which is secret arcane knowledge of the mystical, of the spiritual, of the divine. You are, I think, highly psychic, so I will go back to healing via touch. I said hands-on. I'm going to widen that. Whoever you touch, and I'm talking that you can touch somebody emotionally, not necessarily physically. Your words possibly touch others. Whatever you say, whatever you do, it's incredibly healing. You might be a shaman, because with Gnosis, you are on a path of a spiritual seeker, and you may already have some secret knowledge, some arcane, mystical, spiritual knowledge. You may be about to step into that. I'm drawn to, I talked about this being a moonstone instinctively. I don't think I've ever commented on that or thought that when I've read that card before. But I'm looking at the moon at the centre of this card, and then we appear to have a Merkaba dotted. So sort of, again, pyramids, ancient knowledge, crystal healing. We've got this tiny light at the centre. It's black. All I can think of is eyelashes, which don't surround the whole eye like that. And then all of this colour and this bird. Birds symbolise freedom. It's almost like those red arrow planes which can trail coloured smoke, and you're going through the whole spectrum. Look, you begin up here with these higher chakra colours. You come down to the heart space, you move into the solar and the sacral, circles, oh gosh, wheels within wheels. And you have a circle here on the village and also on the vessel. And the vessel, I'm jumping ahead, but I'm just noticing we've got this naked woman in this golden bowl of golden liquid, headless. You just see the torso here, sort of from the root chakra, possibly up to the throat chakra, headless, light here. And I talked about this, and having meant to talk about how I see this woman as a piece of, she almost looks like the cave art representations that I've seen from prehistoric societies, the very first statues where they've carved woman, and she's round and fertile and abundant, and the hole being here sort of is the womb. Going back to healer, it could be conventional medicine. You could deal with female issues, gynecological issues, midwifery, childbirth. Yeah, because you have the village. So going back to the shaman, the kind of the culture where the healer would have a definite role within the society, medicine woman, witch, herbal healer, so much here. Serving your community, being of service, the wild unknown you, that's incredibly important. But we have this hand reaching out, and this circle again, circle. I'm talking about this circle here. The hand reaching out, wanting to unite, wanting to heal. I think you have an important role within the community that you're involved in. That might be your work community. It might literally be your village, the place that you live, but a village is small, and the wild unknown you need to get bigger. Three heads, three prongs, three purposes. Expand 3 times. Okay, the central card, the underworld. I don't usually, but I'm going to read this card almost as a tower. I don't normally find this scary, but we've got these hidden eyes watching. I think that you are going to have, or you already have had, possibly with Toni Morrison here, quite a shocking, shattering awakening, which is going to enhance your healing gifts and your search for spirituality. And I've talked about fertility an awful lot. You may have fertility issues yourself. You may have explored these. You may possibly be seeking healers. There is something about some kind of trauma, possibly linked to the sacral, which rules sort of genitalia, sexual organs, in men and women, but particularly the womb with women. And we've got the vessel here. You may have lost a child, lost a pregnancy, you may struggle to conceive, or you may struggle to hold a pregnancy, or you may work with those that do. But somehow this pain enhances your need, your desire to reach out to a bigger community and to help and to be of service. Here's the vessel. Again, something to do with touch. She is hiding a breast. She's hiding her, I wanted to say pubis, so I'll say that. But her body is immersed in this golden bowl. There's something about, something about the body here. The hands are covering, you know, do you have sexual trauma? Is that what helps you to reach out and to heal and to deal with those who possibly are suffering? Is that a kind of healing work that you do? Do you have hang-ups around sexuality? Possibly. Something needs to be brought to life about the vessel, your vessel. And I'm looking straight at this dead woman in this tipped over milk, bottle of milk. I don't want to go anywhere near the novel that this comes from, because I'm reading these cards intuitively. Okay, I'm linking this to the village because we've got a very ordinary domestic kitchen table with a loaf of bread and milk, sort of staples, a knife, a very ordinary life. Like the village. Quite limiting, quite small, but you've been to the underworld, you're going to go to the underworld, you're going to have this tower moment, some kind of an awakening that might possibly be triggered by something to do with fertility. And I think you've always been magical, but the word on here is power. You're not going to be that small sort of kitchen witch anymore. You're not going to be the local healer, the local, you know, white witch that somebody will knock on the door and pay tuppence halfpenny for a spell or a charm or a potion from. Look at these wildflowers. Look at the power going up. Look at the seed heads, the wishes, and the two ravens or crows above Toni Morrison's head. Look at the determined, steely, powerful look on her face. And you've got the lion. This is mastery, this is bravery, this is about stepping into your power, using your power to definitely to help people. It's about diving deeper into your spirituality, possibly into mysticism, definitely with the underworld. I'm not going to say possibly. It's about using your body or what's happened to your body. It's about using touch to heal others. It's letting go, it's death of smallness. It's stepping into a bigger sense of purpose, not the village. It's the idea, I suppose, that the world is a village. Do you know, I'm getting an image of the Olympics. I wanted to say the Commonwealth Games, but I knew that wasn't right. And at the Olympics, they have the athletes' village, and those athletes come from all over the world. There's something about that. It's about possibly meeting up and not being the only witch in the village, the only shaman, the only healer. It's possibly about networking, it's sharing experiences. It might be actually joining a group with a very spiritual, mystic type focus that might help you to step into your transformative healing power. Pile number 2, I can actually feel a bit of a tingling in my sacral chakra. I think it really is asking you to step into your power. You're the wild unknown you are a healer. And if you think, you know, no, I'm not, I just cut people's hair, I'm just a masseuse. No, you bring healing to others. And I think the cards today are asking you to expand on your healing power. Pile number 2, that was your reading. If you liked, I hope you will share, like, and if you're not already, I hope you will consider subscribing. Hello, pile number 3, somewhere around the 40 mark, I think. The wild unknown you. As I am putting the cards out, I'd like to remind you that I'm doing my free read giveaway, about 130 subscribers off. Once I reach 500 subscribers, I will be doing a reading, donating a reading, offering a reading of your choice to my lucky winner. I will not be necessarily choosing that winner from the reading where I hit 500. I will go through and choose a reading at random and find a subscriber. I'm also offering e-gift vouchers. So if you'd like to gift a reading to somebody, we can arrange that. You can find me via my Facebook page of the same name, The Batshit Psych Chick. I can send that, you can download it, and you can give that as a gift to somebody if that's something you'd like to do. It's something I have had inquiries about. Okay, pile number 3, let's have a look. Who is the wild unknown you? Okay, I think you're a seeker. I think you're not quite sure, and I think there's an awful lot within you. An awful lot you keep hidden, possibly an awful lot that you keep hidden from yourself. Okay, the first card is that of the Pilgrim, number 20. We have hands, remind me very much of Gandhi. They've got the white robe, got a chakramala clutch there, bangles on the arms, in a prayerful position, not a Christian prayerful position. We've got the cutaway of an eye, and we have a mountain. So here is the, if you like, the spiritual journey of the pilgrim. Okay, and then we have the ring, the unity. Yeah, pile number 3, you are a seeker. You are on a spiritual journey. You are looking to, I think, make sense of the world as you see it. I think I'm getting a sense of going further and further down the rabbit hole in search for truth and clarity and enlightenment with this card. You know, we have the darkness of outer space, and then we seem to be coming into this colour. We've got the green of the heart space, we've got the orange and the yellow blending with the red. You're not necessarily doing this in the right order. It's quite chaotic. Okay, it is. It's quite chaotic. You're seeking, you're searching enlightenment. I think you've possibly reached a state of discontent, discomfort. You can't sit where you are anymore. You know that there has to be more to life, and you're seeking it, and you might be doing that through spirituality, you might be doing that through religion, you might be doing that through travel, because there's a sense of a journey here, and that might be an internal journey, a metaphorical journey, it might be a physical journey. But it's quite chaotic, it's quite whirly and swirly. Yeah, and you've got water and you've got the flame, fire and water. You might be trying to balance and harmonise, and actually you might be quite scattered and chaotic at the moment. For some people that really works. You might be a chaos witch. You might thrive on chaos and, you know, out of the darkness, the big bang, the light. That might be where you need to go. You may have had quite an intense spiritual awakening and be in that sort of dazed state afterwards, thinking, who am I, where do I go, what's all this about, it doesn't particularly make sense, and be seeking. Because the colours, the chakras are not in any particular order. I had a very intense, very sudden spiritual awakening, and I wasn't grounded, and I was very dizzy, I had vertigo, too much, too quickly, came in at the higher levels, and I needed to go back when I understood what was happening and try and align and balance everything. There's a sense of that in this reading. I think you've possibly seen here this light in the darkness, and you're attempting to bring it all into some kind of shape that makes form, that makes sense to you, that you can put in order and tell a story sequentially. At the moment, I think you've got ideas, you've got fragments, and they're all over the place, and you're searching for a sense of unity. That took me a while to get. Okay, you have the river, and I see water as going with the flow. I see it as being in touch with your emotions. I see it's very spiritual. Again, you've got a predominant colour in the background, sort of grey, then black. You've got all the blue here of the river, and then you've got the colour. And the cutaway shape is quite similar, sort of kite shaped, like a pentangle. So you might be looking for symmetry. Yeah. A river is free flowing, it's fast moving. We have this dark shape, and I can't unsee it. I see it as a horse. I think you're moving quite quickly, which fits in with the river, and the pilgrim and the travel. Searching for a sense of freedom with the river. Becoming unstuck, you don't want to be stagnant. Possibly things are moving a little bit too quickly. And then at the centre of your reading you have the flame, and I'm just sort of seeing the eternal flame. You know, you have become enlightened. You've got this pyramid in 3D, so prism, which is this cutaway of this pentangle I'm talking about. and the strange pentangle cutaway of the body here becomes much more stable. It has a base, it has a basis. The flame's been lit, your light has been lit. You have become illuminated. And you go from chaos, looking for, what's the word that's escaping me? A ring is eternal. There's no beginning, there's no end. But I talked about going down a rabbit warren or through a black hole of seeking. The centre of your reading, you've got the stability. You are harnessing, okay, this seeking. You're starting to gain enlightenment, you're starting to gain clarity. And it's very stable, and it's at the heart of your reading. Fire and water, going with the flow, possibly swimming in currents that have felt where you felt a little bit out of your depth, a little bit too wild, a little bit too fast, too chaotic, too swirly on the journey. Here you start to stabilize and ground. Then you have this card. This is my least favorite card in the deck, and it's upside down. I'll show you the right way up. It's quite horrible. You've got a cat and the eyes are cut away, and you've got human eyes. And that's what I think is horrible behind it. The cat's wearing a party hat. It looks completely grumpy. And then you've got all this colour radiating out. Now the colour actually is in the correct order. So I like that. There's miserable, I mean, this is Tears of a Clown, the comic as an archetype, covering up lots of sadness. And it was upside down. And when I looked at it, I saw a skull. I saw this is the skull head, and these are the eye sockets. I think it's really positive that this comic is upside down. I think you're no longer prepared to mask or hide who you are or that you're seeking. I think as you've harnessed and stabilised this power, you're not going to hide behind masks anymore. And a comedian is a storyteller. There are truths in stories, in jokes. I'm getting the idea of the medieval jester was the only person that was actually allowed to tell the truth or approach the king. So something about your words having power, and you may use humour to deliver a truth. But you're not going to mask or hide your sadness or hide the journey anymore behind humour. You know, you are now going to begin, possibly in quite a childlike finger painting way, to radiate and to shine out. Radiate and shine out, and the flame was there. But we've got circles with the ring. There is much more stability here. You've got all of the colours, and they're not necessarily in a correct order, but you've worked on all of the chakras. I think everything is coming into colour, everything is coming into balance, and you're starting to see the bigger picture rather than zoning in on small details. rather than being on this spiritual journey and not quite sure what you are seeking, you're coming into enlightenment. There we go. Full spectrum. Okay, I am not reading the Literary Witches in any kind of a way where I'm talking about the authors. I'm simply looking at the imagery of the card and I'm intuitively tying it into what I can see going on. I think before I read this, I'm going to read the obvious one, the skull. And I've said that a cat upside down reminded me of a skull. This is, I think, this is death to the unknown, death to insecurity, to feeling adrift, because you've got this very stable flame and everything else is around this flame. Things are coming into flow, things are coming into balance. Yeah, death, skull, the future, yes. This is what you're focusing on. I love this. You're birthing something. Okay, you are literally putting something to death. Here it's a male. Death to the patriarchy. But I don't think we need to worry too much about that and gender. We've got 3 wormholes and 2 serpents' tails, and Octavia Butler pops up, and it's her own hand which has turned into a quill or a claw or a fang, which is putting the old to death. You, she are doing this yourself. You are killing off what old narratives, confusion, and when you emerge, you are giving birth to this strange hybrid creature, this new, and it's well, this is definitely a male, and this is more of a female. It has breasts, but we don't see the rest of the body. This is about integrating everything that you've been seeking. It's about integrating the river and the flame. It's about integrating the need to travel, the need to journey, and it's grounding it and it's anchoring it, and it's not chaotic and swirling anymore. It's not hiding anymore. It's not being afraid. I think the wild unknown you is somebody who is ready to perhaps kill off or challenge old systems, old forms of belief, very much a seeker. There's something quite sci-fi about this. You've got an egg, it's broken out, the serpent has been unleashed, it's been born. It's creating something new, it's creating a world that's much more comfortable for you to be who you are in. No need to wear this mask anymore. No need to play the spooky looking, scary cat clown. It's time for you to come into full spectrum colour. Pile number 3. That was your reading. Quite mystical. The wild unknown you is a seeker, somebody who at the moment is or has been struggling to bring different sides, different elements of themselves into balance. By the time we get here, you've succeeded. You have literally killed off that which is not seeking you, and you are birthing something strange, something new, something hybrid, something which is the future. Pile number 3, whoever you are coming into your power, and you are leading not just yourself, I think humanity into a brave new world. Pile number 3, that was your reading. Brightest blessings. If you're not already, I hope you will subscribe, share, like,